Hey, what's up everybody? It's Victor over here at the Fish Room. Welcome back to another Tankful Thursday. Hope you guys had a good week. Today we're going to go over the fishbowl that I had made. I broke it down, drilled a hole into it, and I re-scaped it, and I took it into Kang's Mixed Martial Arts, where I teach and am currently training Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's located at the corner of Belpre and Lay Hill, and it's a really good school. I left it right sitting by the window, and I hooked it up with the air pump, and it's sitting there perfectly. It was nice and clear by the time I left. Yeah, so enjoy. Okay, so this is the fish bowl I'm starting with, and right now I'm going to add the substrate to it. So I've already drilled and placed my airline in there. So all I have to do now is place my substrate. A little bit of water in. I'm not being very gentle right now. This was the substrate that was already in there. It's cycled media. Kind of stinks a little bit, so I let it sit in a bucket for 3 days. I'm gonna even it out in here. There's a decent amount of substrate in there. I'm gonna take this water out. What I'm gonna do is push all of the substrate kind of to the back. That way I have an angled look. But I don't want any of my substrate too thick, otherwise I'm going to get anaerobic activity in this tiny bowl, and I definitely don't want that. Now this is a sponge filter I've had. Install the filter. Now these small bowls, I really do like to have some kind of aeration in there. That's why I add these air filters in there. Soak it into the substrate, and I can easily remove that later to clean it. What I'll do is plant around it enough that you can't see it, and that's kind of what I'm going to start with. Now I'm going to add some stones that I got from Rachel, and I'm going to make my scaping here. Now I'm going to use the rocks here to really hide the filter along with the plants. And I'm really going to set this in there. I'm trying not to block the flow of the filter, but I am trying to really hide where it's located. Now Rachel has a really nice selection of all of these stones. And she has a bunch of these tiny pieces that are perfect for nano tanks, just laying around there. So if you guys have any small tanks, any small scapes that you're interested in creating, you might want to hit her up, because the size of these stones are kind of perfect for these tanks.
So it took a while before I was satisfied with this hardscape. I moved rocks around. It took a while, but once I actually found something I like, I added the hardwood in there. It's manzanita wood, and then I started planting. This is Watala runtifa or something like that. I'm probably not saying it right, but I planted a bunch of tall stem plants along that whole backside. Here I'm adding some Ludwigia, and it's really hard to kind of plant in the soil, so I was trying to cover it up to make sure that when I filled the tank, that the plants would actually stay rooted in there. So this is kind of what it looks like. I was really happy with it, and I really started planting all the plants along the back. The idea is to get all of these stem plants to grow up around the filter to hide it. Initially it's not going to hide it, but eventually these are going to get very tall, and that's what's going to hide it. So planting in these little tanks is really hard. Anytime you move something, something else moves, and your hand moves, and it moves the wood, as you can see, and I'm trying to, it's chaos. But eventually I kind of got something I was happy with, and I started to plant the foreground. Now it is absolute mess trying to plant foreground plants in this little tank. It was absolutely frustrating, but I was able to get it all in there. It's probably because I had these huge tweezers, but this is Sagittaria. I ended up putting also some smaller carpeting plants. I didn't want to put dwarf sag because I wanted something tall, medium size in front of the tall stem plants in the back. So this is kind of what it looks like, and then I started adding the dwarf HC in the front that I got from Rachel. Thank you so much for that. And I put it in 3 clumps along the front so that it'll carpet across the front. And I did clip some of them, and it'll get them to start carpeting a lot faster. Now here's some advice to maybe save you guys from the frustration I went into. Get your scape perfect before you even try to start filling your tank, because as soon as you turn that water on and start filling it, you're gonna see I go into it and start reaching in, it just becomes a mess. I start uprooting things and I have to go in there and replant. I turn the water off, took water off. So I always try to really nail down my scape before I put water in there, and this is probably not the best example of that, but when I took it to its final location, that's actually what I did, and I was able to fill it up. It was perfectly clear, and that's kind of one of the things I really try to do when I'm setting up a new tank, is make sure that the scape is good, and when I fill it up, it's clear, so that way I don't have to get the filter all dirty, do another water change, and that whole mess. So one of the things I always do after I finish a scape is I set it up, I sit down, and I try to look at it from all the different angles to try to see what I've created, what looks best, what doesn't look good, what I can change. Should I move a rock? Should I, add more plants, take some plants away, maybe add some different colored plants in there? So that's kind of the process I'm going through right there.
Alright guys, so this is what I have. It's exactly 3.5 gallons right now. I'm just kind of letting it run through. I'm going to be emptying it out within the next hour and then moving into its final location, doing some final touch-ups, but I filled it up. Gonna see how I feel about it, move some things around. There's some plants that I uprooted as I was filling it up, so I'm gonna transport it, touch it up, and then fill it back up once I get there. So
alright, so let's head over to Kang's Mixed Martial Arts. As you can see, the sign says karate, but I think it's a historical sign at this point. This is Kang's. You can see the fishbowl in the window. It gets a lot of light, especially in the afternoon. This is the dojo where we train at. We do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, Muay Thai. That's a reference for all the flags, and the bowl here at the front. I'm a little worried about all the kids running through, maybe trying to touch and put their hands in the tank, especially when I put the fish in there. So I'm going to be making a sign, that says it's for sale, and that, put a sign that says do not touch. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll give you guys an update maybe within a few weeks of what it looks like. So I'm not sure if I should put a little school of maybe 7 to 8 ruby tetras in the 3.5 gallon, or if maybe I should put a beta or shrimp in a beta. Let me know what you guys think.
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to check back next week where I'm going to actually give you an update. I can show you some of the growth over the last week and when I introduced the fish. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for another Tankful Thursday. Have a good week, guys. See ya.